Live from the city of angels. It's Sunday night, and you are watching the Sunday Evening Spectacular. I love this track. Man, if I want to get in a good mood, which I need to be, because I'm about ready to destroy Megalopolis again. Because it's going to get ugly, man. But I have to, start on an upbeat. This is Time Cop 1983, One Night. Synthwave. Here we go. All right. All the good is about ready to be sucked out of the room, because we're going to destroy Megalopolis tonight again. Because as you see with the title of tonight's stream, Megalopolis is, guys, there's no room for negotiation on this. This film is sheer and utter trash. And anybody who is on the wrong side of history on this film will be, you'll never live it down. It'll never happen. As long as you live, everybody will know that you thought that Megalopolis was a good film. Or maybe even worse, a great film. Listen, we talk about all the time how, film is subjective. Film criticism. Everyone has an opinion. There's no right or wrong. First of all, anyone who watches MMT knows I do not believe that at all. There are films that are shades of gray, right? No question. Even A Wild Robot just opened this weekend. Didn't love it as much as a lot of you, but I do not think that's a great film. But I understand if you did. Now, listen. When it comes to a film like Babylon, when it comes to The Whale, when it comes to Beau is Afraid, and now the worst of them all, the nadir of cinema, when you're talking about Megalopolis, there is only one answer to be had, and that is that this film is utter and complete refuse. Let me read you my tweet that I think encapsulates everything I feel about this film. It's better than the stream that Grace Randolph put out over this. By the way, she recommended it. Are you guys ready? That's going to be fun in a few minutes when we watch that. But I got to get some tweets first from a couple of screenwriters. And listen, here's the thing. If you're a screenwriter, if you're a writer in this town, you cannot be a film critic. Everyone knows that. You have to be a cheerleader. Because you could get someone pissed off because you said their film or their show is trash, like I am tonight with Megalopolis. Someone's like, well, I don't plan to work with Coppola. You're missing the point. Stop moving the fucking goalpost. You're a writer. You're not a critic. You have no balls. If you had balls, you come out and say a movie's terrible, but you won't because you might not get that job next time, right? Who's right? Weber's right again. 999 batting average continues. Unabated here tonight on this Sunday. Thanks for being here, MMT Live from the City of Angels, as we talk about Megalopolis being trash. Also, David Corenswet, is he juicing? That's coming up. Physique critique. Yes, it'll be fun ahead of tomorrow night's massive Joker 2 stream that we'll have for you late here from LA, about 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock on the East Coast tomorrow night. Getting out of that one. I'm very much looking forward to Joker Folie à Deux. But back to my reaction of Megalopolis and why this film is trash, right? I'm going to give you very specific reasons, but it's every element. It's not one thing. It's the entire film. There's no single filmmaking aspect about Megalopolis that exceeds garbage. Not one. Here is my perfectly encapsulated reaction and deadly accurate review of the refuse that is Megalopolis. Francis Ford Coppola raises his reputation with the torturously atrocious Megalopolis. Cartoonish acting, laughably awful dialogue, chintzy effects, and iPhone aesthetics. The fact this ever saw the light of day, and on an IMAX screen of all things, cheapens cinema. A colossal catastrophe. 0 out of 10. This might be the best tweet review I have ever put out, and I have a ton of bangers, and you guys know it. I am going to frame this. That is what I am going to do. I am going to get this turned into one of those. You send the picture in and they bring it, they send it and mail it to you in a nice frame. It's matted and all that. I'm going to get this thing framed and I'm going to put it up behind me. There's going to be a bunch of movies that are missing. You're only going to see this tweet that is right there for you to view until the end of 2024 to remind you, and anybody who ever brings up Megalopolis, also a flop. We'll talk about that in a minute in case you didn't hear. It'll remind them that they're 100% wrong. Not even 1% correct. There's no negotiation. There is 0% leeway. You have to be on the right side of history, because if you're not, you're done. It's over. Sorry. It's over. Let's welcome our first contestant here tonight, who is 100% inaccurate on her assessment of the trash Megalopolis. Grace Freud. Megalopolis isn't, quote, so bad it's good. It's just good. You people have no taste. You have a rough knowledge of how a movie should, quote, work because of the fake cinematic literacy offered to you by YouTuber jackoffs who think all great art is born inside the same mold. Is this maybe the worst tweet ever sent? It's one of them. By the way, Grace Freud is a writer for Rick and Morty. Isn't that surprising? Is everybody shocked that a writer would be defending a Hollywood property, even one that's complete and utter trash? No, of course not, because Grace has to rub elbows with the people that may know Francis, and you don't want to get anyone angry. You don't want to get anybody on the blackball list. Can't have that happen, Grace. Let me explain something. Again, Grace, just so you know, it's great. Go for it. Do what you want to do. I'm just letting you know that no matter what you tweet for the remainder of history, no one will ever listen to you about anything, because once you proclaim this a, quote, good film. By the way, no, she didn't say great. It's a good film. Imagine if I came on here, I'm like, hey, guys, I really need you to go watch this film. It's unbelievable. Substance, our movie of the year, right? It's good. You guys would be like, that's it? It's just good? Donovan, I don't see how any future studio would want to associate with Coppola at this point. He's done. He is done. And listen, we're right. Donovan, you're right. Anybody, you don't even do it. Guys, listen, if you're thinking about coming in here with a comment telling me that Megalopolis is something other than something you find at the bottom of your shoe that you scrape off and throw into the dumpster, don't. Because you're not gonna be able to live it down, right? It's like that text you send at like 3 a.m. when you maybe shouldn't have. Don't do it. Don't hit the send button. Don't do it, because we'll never forget it. And I've been on the right side of history unilaterally, right? I mean, when Weber's missed, it's like, oh, he liked Ant-Man 3. Ant-Man 3 is a dumbass Marvel movie. I'm allowed. I hammered Babylon, correct. Bo was afraid. And now Megalopolis. These people like Grace. I'm not done. And Grace is just one. Let's go to another person who's completely and utterly worthless when it comes to evaluating film. And we go to Erick Baker. I just found this one. He apparently is a teacher at Harvard. He teaches history of science and labor at Harvard. Clearly does not teach film. Okay, with this take, I will keep talking about Megalopolis as long as I live. Can you imagine a professor? Right? Because if you're a teacher or professor or whatever, he's at Harvard, the highest institution in our great land. Imagine you walk into class tomorrow and you read this tweet and you're like, I will keep talking about Megalopolis as long as I live. Well, that's one hell of a life statement and a life mission and a life goal. Can I say, Erick, you thought that you reached the pinnacle of your career at Harvard, but now you're just going to be a Megalopolis stan. A stand for the trashiest, most garbage film of all time. A near perfect stylistic and tonal fusion of two of my favorite movies, Citizen Kane and Revenge of the Sith. I pray to God he's kidding. Let's pray that because this is now at this point, there's no way this is true. Is it? Is it? I heard someone say Megalopolis is meant to be in the style of Shakespeare. Is there any validity to that, or is it just bullshit? Bobby, that's just from somebody who wants to try to explain why they thought this was not a complete and utter failure on every single level of filmmaking. Guys, it doesn't look good. It's not cinematography. Score's terrible. Forgettable at best. Okay? You've got acting. Driver. We'll talk about Driver in a minute. Driver has made so many errors, right? When you look at this man and what projects he picks, you're just like, damn, man, who's your agent? Are you still with that first agent that lives out of his car? I mean, who are you with? It's not CAA or William Morris or ICM. The only film that I like from Adam Driver in the past several years that I actually really like is Annette. That was one. But that is still a very weird film. If you haven't watched that, a lot of you might not like it. But at least listen, any of the films he's done, including Ferrari, which is not good, is better than Megalopolis. 65, which was garbage, better than Megalopolis. Because it's an hour and 25 minutes, that alone. And just to watch it and see how terrible the edits are. But at least the story doesn't make you want to leave the theater. People were getting up and leaving. This film bombed. It had $4 million this weekend. Remember, though, do you notice how I didn't lead with that? I didn't lead with the fact that it bombed at $4 million, because then people say, well, you're hammering it because it bombed. No, I hammered it before it opened. Go back and watch the stream from Monday. I'm back again tonight to drag all these clowns that are saying this is a good movie. Anybody who praises Megalopolis is just doing mental gymnastics to feel better about spending the fee and see it in this economy. But jerk, no, that's the sunk cost fallacy, right? I don't care how much you spend for Megalopolis. You come out and you say it's garbage because someone's going to watch it and say, what? Did this person say it's good? We have another one. This is maybe my favorite because this is from a screenwriter named Josh Olson. And I looked him up on IMDb. He actually he adapted History of Violence, which is a very good film, but he adapted it, so he didn't write it. It's not original. So he can adapt things. As far as original, here's what I know about Josh Olson. Josh, if you're watching tonight, because I know it was after you, I'm just going to tell you I can't wait to watch that disaster film that you have coming out with, what's her name? Jessica Alba. Yeah, that's his next film. A film with Jessica Alba. And by the way, it's a Netflix film. So Josh continues to ascend. He did History of Violence. I believe he was nominated for an Oscar there and then fell off the radar for like 15 years. And now he's back with the Jessica Alba Netflix movie. Josh, let me explain something. The reason I'm dragging your ass, and it's very simple if you can't understand, because I'm going to hammer you again in a second, because I'm going to read your fucking tweet. And by the way, Josh, I'm here in LA. Come find me. I'm not afraid of you. Bro, roll up. Josh, the screenwriter. Again, another screenwriter. By the way, wait till you hear what Josh has to say when I went after him and said, what the hell is this? You ready? Just spent 2 hours and 18 minutes with a big smile on my face. Josh was either high or drunk or both, or is on coke. Well, I bet she's on coke. He's got one of the three. It's exactly the movie you thought it would be the first time you heard him talk about it years ago. Well, that's not really true, because I think I had a lot of faith, didn't you guys? I thought that maybe Coppola could bring this together. I'm down for the concept, but not the way it's executed. You don't have to love it or even like it, but if you actively hate it, you don't really love movies. Thank you, Josh. Now we can all eagerly look forward to your Jessica Alba Netflix movie. Weber's being mean. But you know what? But here's the thing. Josh just said if we hate the movie, then we hate movies. If I hate Megalopolis, I hate all movies. Because you guys know I didn't just rave about The Substance. What else did I rave about this year? Asphalt City. What else did I like this year? Not a whole lot of films. I didn't rave about the film over my shoulder, Tar, like still to this day, every time I have a stream. And a lot of the films behind me, never. But I hate movies because I don't like Megalopolis. So I asked him, I said, so I came and I had this reaction. I said, oh, you're a screenwriter, right? Of course you're going to say it's good. Your job is to be a cheerleader. Because let me tell you guys, I get DMs from directors, writers, and they send them to me and they say, man, I just saw... Let's use Megalopolis, for example. And they say, it's terrible. It's bad. But I can't say that in public. So I know how the game is played. And Josh even admitted. He goes, well, I said, can you point me to a tweet that says you hammered a film? Show me a movie that you destroyed, Josh. Because if you're going to say something's great, I want to see you hammer a film. God knows you can't. Dude, I got $1 billion. Come find me. $1 billion. Weber plays harder than anybody else in the space. There's nobody even close. Nobody has anywhere near the fortitude. No one. No, not one person. Listen, I might not have a Pulitzer Prize like our man who told us to go see it twice. He saw it twice. Go see it. It's great. Megalopolis. First of all, Pulitzer Prize. Take it away. Get it away from him. Take it away from Justin Chang. It's gone. It's gone. By the way, Justin Chang's one of those guys who writes, and he writes with all this great verbose. This is so learned. Look how brilliantly this is. It's just a bunch of word fucking salad. That's exactly. And here's your Pulitzer. Relates to nobody. He's another one of those guys. Robert Daniels, Chang. Oh, wait, Weber's attacking minorities. I don't care. What? It doesn't matter. It's the critic. I'm not talking. So don't even go there. You're a pathetic human if you go there. But go ahead. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me for some of you. Here's the thing. Screenwriters can't hammer a film because they're going to get a job from someone else. And he goes, well, yeah, but I just don't talk about the things I don't like. What then? I said, well, then, Josh, why don't you help us all out? Why don't you tell us what you watch? And then if you don't say anything, we know you think it's trash. And he was like completely confounded by that. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. These people are not to be taken seriously. Watch out. Exactly. Whiplash. Here's the thing. Is there someone out there who would actually be insane enough to say Megalopolis is greatness in cinema and Tar is just average or worse? Because these are the things we're dealing with. Guys, I don't understand. You understand why I have these violent reactions to these people? Because they're so wrong. It's not, don't tell me the subjective shit. Don't tell me this. No. They're so fucking wrong. There's no gray area here. Do I have another one? Let's watch. You guys want to watch Grace Randolph for a minute? I know this is the part that is really trying for a lot of you. Listen, we're never going to match her in views or in subs. It's never going to happen. But we're cooler and we're better. So, you know, she has to know that. Even if she doesn't know who we are. She would have to admit it if she watched our stream. She'd be like, yeah, it's better. But I have more viewers, and look, I'm in New York, and can you see the skyline behind me? Get ready. Let's listen. Listen, anyone who complains right now that I'm playing Grace Randolph, it's her. It's not me. I'm not doing this. I'm not the one doing the review. It's Grace Randolph. My review's from last week. Tonight, I just wanted to come on and tell everybody that Megalopolis is trash and that we're on the right side of history. Anyone who is not is wrong, and that includes Grace Randolph. Let's listen to what she has to say. Here's her review. We're not going to watch all 19 minutes. That's more torturous than the movie. Which would you rather sit through again? Those of you who saw Megalopolis, the entirety of the 2 hours and 17-ish minutes of Megalopolis, or Grace Randolph for 9 minutes and 14 seconds? Here she comes.
Megalopolis, a film so bad it demands to be seen. That was the word coming out of the festival circuit when Megalopolis debuted about a month or so ago.
And everybody who said that was right, Grace. Everybody. Every single person who said that film is garbage when they saw it at Cannes knows, or excuse, was it Cannes? It was Cannes first, right? And then it was Venice. The first people that saw it and recognized it's trash, I don't need anyone else to tell me that. I could see it. I don't need to read a single review. I told you guys my Babylon story. I saw the first screening of Babylon here in LA, in Beverly Hills. I walked out, sent the tweet. I was the first person. I said, this is trash, disaster, tonal disaster. And then, boom, I don't need anybody else. I don't need someone else. I'm not like Matt Naglia, who has to piecemeal a bunch of shit together from other people because he has no balls to say his own thing. No, he doesn't. Those people do. They all go, well, I don't know what's the right side of history. Here's the right side of history, what you think, your evaluation. But you don't have the guts to say what you believe, so you only hammer the films you know are safe to hammer. Did he like that film? Matt's not a good critic. That's being kind. That was as kind as I could ever put it. Totally untalented when it comes to being a critic.
And it rang out like a challenge.
No, Weber's being mean.
You know, you were like, oh, I got to see a movie that's that bad, right? But of course, you know, we're all going in with very low expectations. And you might think, well, if it's so bad, and some of you might be thinking this, why even go? Why spend the money and the time?
She takes forever to get to the point, doesn't she? I mean, our streams, and people say whatever, right? You can say whatever you want about MMT, and it's totally, a lot of it's probably accurate. But the one thing you can say, we just get down to it. There's none of this bullshit like Gore and Allen on Film Threat with 17 minutes of synopsis. It's like, what am I watching? It's so boring. Gore's like, this and that. And did Allen like this? Oh my God. Oh, that's terrible. There's no returning from that. Don't ever listen to him about anything ever again.
Time to go at all if it's that bad. You know, I had even said recently that I felt that the challenge had kind of lost some of its luster. You know, it had been so long since the movie.
Where should we fast forward to? Because I'm bored out of my mind and I'm 40 seconds in. Should we go to like 4 minutes? Let's go to the 4-minute mark. Is it a work of art, interactive? Where is something good? Okay, let's just randomly pick a moment. Here's 6 minutes and 52 seconds into the stream.
But the strong commentary in the film is that no matter what happens, the elite continue to be the focus, and the people remain locked outside.
Do you see her reading? She's reading her script. You guys see that, right? Do you guys see that? That's what she's doing right there. She's reading her script. I told you guys she reads a teleprompter. I don't read a fucking teleprompter. I'm looking at the screen hitting buttons. I'm not reading. Do you see me like going, and I said that I liked the movie. I thought it was really well made. And if you look at the cinematography, I thought that it was maybe not the strongest, but I really thought that they tried. No, this shit's live. You can tell there's lots of mistakes. But Grace is literally reading from a teleprompter right now.
Peering through a chain link fence. Even when it comes to Megalopolis, all the rich are patting themselves on the back. They're like, oh, we did it. Look, isn't this great? And you're like, the people are still outside. And they're like,
what? This is so terrible. Guys, she has 50,000 views. I only have 2,000 on my Is It the Worst Movie Ever Made? This is not acceptable. For me to only have 2,000 views, well, she has 50,000. Now, let me just say something. I always talk about this MMT, and I appreciate those of you who like the channel or at least tolerate the channel. Here's what I'll say. Our return rate on subscribers to views is some of the highest on YouTube. It's like a 50, almost 100% return rate, right? So you're looking at 2,000 views on Megalopolis, and we have like 2,250 subscribers or 25, whatever the number is. Okay. So, right. That's 100% return. A good, just so you guys know, a good return on YouTube is like 10%. We regularly draw 25% plus on streams, 25% because we're good. I don't care. I told you guys, I don't care about subscribers or money or otherwise I wouldn't play songs and show you trailers and shit. Every one of my streams gets demonetized. You guys know that, right? Every single one. I don't care. Well, he doesn't need the money. Fuck, I don't. Who doesn't need money? I just don't care. I'm doing this because I enjoy movies. I enjoy having fun with the stream, and I'll do it however I want. That doesn't mean I have to worry about monetizing it like all these other people. You either like it or you don't. And frankly, I'm not getting paid shit for it, so who cares? It's fun. I enjoy it. Especially hammering a film as terrible as Megalopolis. Let's continue. This is really this is unbearable.
Celebration. And you're like, what? And that's the point. I mean, it's fascinating. And that has continued to happen time and time again, not just from the Roman Empire, but if you watch the Gilded Age, Indians supporting to becoming the femme fatale, not only here, but also on Agatha all along. And she's good at it. But to truly understand her performance here, you need to have seen.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Her performance, everyone's performance in this film was like Coppola just said, hey, you guys, do what you want to do. I'll make it work. No notes. right? Aubrey Plaza's like out of control as what's the name of her name? Ty Platinum something. It's terrible. The name's terrible. Whatever the name, it's really bad. And then you've got Driver doing his typical thing. Driver's definitely overrated as an actor, no question, right? He goes for it in Annette. You need to watch Annette. It's better film than Megalopolis. Much better. But to say that these performances are not Razzie performances, she's terrible. Grace Randolph's
Baxter's
terrible.
performance in the 10 Commandments on casting. And the visuals. You've heard of mixed media in the arts, but rarely have you seen it in cinemas.
First of all, there's nothing in this film from a technical standpoint. I'll go to Driver in a second. I promise. Driver's next. I can't take any more of this. There's nothing in this film from a technical standpoint that rises above garbage. Nothing. Not cinematography. Looks like an iPhone. Guys, this should never have been on an IMAX screen. I told you guys this morning. IMAX down in Marina Del Rey, whoever okayed this and said, let's put this on IMAX, they lowered their standards. And that's unacceptable. It's literally, you talk about low. Now anything can show on IMAX. Anything. I don't care what it is. A student film. You have IMAX this week. I know this is your first short. It's a student short. We're going to put it on IMAX this week at Burbank because we played Megalopolis. So once that standard's broken and we've shattered it with this refuse, we'll allow anything to show. So guys, submit your student films to IMAX. There's a good chance they'll show them after this. Okay, I'll go. Just give me one more second. She's going to talk about the interactive bullshit section.
Certainly not mainstream cinema. This is living mixed media, a mix of practical effects and CGI and all kinds.
Terrible CGI. Also, I know she already talked about this, and then I'm going to go to the other thing with what's his name, with Driver. I'll go listen to that. Here's what I'm going to tell you. That section where all of a sudden it breaks down to the little box and you've got Adam Driver waiting for the question. And here comes the person from the audience going, so Caesar, what do you think about a society that has no morals? Whatever the fuck the question was. And he sits there, and of course it's not timed right. So everyone's there on the opening night there last Monday, and we're waiting. And then finally Driver, right? Because they had to give enough time for someone that reads slowly. And he sits there, and then we're all sitting there going, this is bad. And then all of a sudden he goes, well, here's your answer. It's so bad. The fact that people are pointing that out as something that's daring, it didn't work. So who cares? If it's daring and fails, then you don't celebrate it. But remember, it's Coppola, so we have to. That's the world we live in for a lot of these people. Grace Randolph is unwatchable. I don't know why you guys watch her, except to make fun of her. Is that what you guys do? Because at least, here's the thing is, I always say this. The people who are like, Weber's the worst, the worst person ever, he's the Trump of the film space. I'm sure someone said that. Is they don't ever say I'm bad. They just go, oh, he can't, because they can't. Because, you kidding me? You're going to compare me to Grace Randolph in a live stream? She's done. It's not even a contest. I walk out of the corner and the referee just rings the bell. It's no, we're not going to have the fight. Grace, go back to your corner. It's over. Well, first of all, I wouldn't fight a woman. Okay, let's make sure that's straight. But if it were a, hypothetical fight, the ref would we're not having this. This isn't going to be fair. So I don't care if she has more subscribers. Okay, I do. I'm not going to lie to you. It hurts like shit.
On that note,
here's Adam
really
Driver.
To this cast. They take very difficult dialogue and make it feel organic and natural. Going in, I was like, Adam Driver, baby, you got to pick better projects. What are you doing to your career? But he's so good in this.
And going out of it, you say that. And by the way, how much you want to bet that Grace Randolph never saw Annette? How much you guys, who's got some cash they want to put down? Can someone find out if she ever had a reaction to Annette? I guarantee she doesn't. This is what we deal with. These people like this, or our guy, the dude from Comic Book, or no longer a Comic Book, one of the Davis brothers. He was like best film of the year. Oh, I've watched 5 films, but best film of the year. These people are not to be taken seriously. I've sat through virtually everything this year, except for Transformers 1, which probably is the one I should have watched instead of things like The Front Room from A24 or Tuesday from A24. The death of a studio. I mean, A Different Man's better than those, but still not great. Still not great. A24, since its inception, we saw the peak. As I said, go back to that stream, 2017, 2018, 2019. That's when you are at peak A24, and it's over. It's over. Whoever took over, whoever's running the show there, bunch of bad decisions.
Amazing. What an incredible performance with such nuance. And he's such a leading man. And with some genuinely, intentionally, that's important to note. I thought they were.
She's reading. I can't watch somebody who's looking off screen to read her cue cards. You guys know what I'm saying? Do you guys see what she's doing? Can I make it bigger? Is there a way to make her even larger? Here, I'll make her larger. Do you guys see where her eyes are? She's covered up by the MMT. I'm sorry. But you see what she's reading from a cue card. That'd be like me, again, back over here. Megalopolis is trash. When I watched it, I was bored. I thought the acting was cartoonish. And the score wasn't good. And other things. But we're better than Grace Randolph. We're not reading from teleprompters. Coach, I'm in the middle of something. I can't be laughing. Hold on. Let's just a couple more seconds. We'll be done with Grace.
Intentionally funny moments. We all know that Adam Driver is a very good comedian, and he uses that skill here as well. He uses all the skills in his toolboxes. And
it's not a good. Listen. Let's talk about Adam Driver since she's talking about Driver. Let's go ahead and look at his last several films, and we'll see where he made mistakes and where he got something right. He did get a net right. That's one. She hasn't watched it, so she wouldn't even know when you say that. Okay, Megalopolis, worst film ever made, so that was a mistake. Ferrari, bad film. The same thing we talked about. Someone was saying today, "Oh, how dare you guys attack directors who are getting older?" No, it's fair. Here's the thing. As you get older, your skills erode. End of discussion. There's nothing more to say about that. Anybody who wants to argue that is a liar, okay? And you're disingenuous, and we're not going to have the debate. When you get older, your skills erode. That was nice. And when you get to 80, 70, whatever, let's go, whatever, 70 plus, you're not going to be as sharp as you were when you were 30. So when you look at Scorsese's one of the few who's held it together. But you look at everybody, Ridley Scott has lost some of the fastball. I don't know about all of it. We're going to find out with Gladiator 2. But look at Michael Mann. Again, go back to my reaction for Ferrari. When you watch Ferrari, if you do not see a director who is losing their skill set, who is now at best a marginal technical director, you're not paying attention. And again, I can't help you. If you can't identify these things that are right in front of you, that's not a me problem. That is, help me out, everybody. That's a you problem. I can't hold your hand and show you. You have to be able to recognize it. And that's where the skill comes in. That's where the talent comes in. A lot of people in the space don't have it. We talked about it millions of times. So many people say, I'm a critic. They have no talent. None, zero. Weber doesn't. Oh, really? Go look at all the. Why do you think I get DMs from directors? Did you guys know and say, Weber, you're right. This is 100% right. I can't say this in person, but damn, that was good. Well, of course, because I've been doing this a long time. And also, I'm objective and I don't have an agenda, which, of course, goes hand in hand with objective. And when you don't have an agenda and you're not left wing or right wing, which I'm not, I have certain things I like about both sides, then you're able to figure out what the truth of the situation is. 65, again, terrible film, but still better than Megalopolis. By the way, it has 5.4 stars. Megalopolis has 5.2. So I am correct. 65 is better film. White Noise, I never got around to. And I like Baumbach, but I never got around to because I heard it wasn't great. Baumbach is either a total home run, absolutely over the fence, or it's literally a ground out to first. That's the thing about Baumbach, and I understand this film was probably a ground out to first is what I'm hearing, so I never saw it. House of Gucci, not good in that film, not a great film. By the way, Ridley Scott, correct? I honestly forgot all about House of Gucci. Wasn't that Ridley Scott? Not a well-directed film, just very marginal at best. Last Duel, Ridley Scott. He's, again, the problem with that and his performance there is that accent wanders. Like, here's the thing. I tell Driver, don't do an accent because you can't do it. House of Gucci, same thing. Ferrari, a little better, but it wanders, right? It can't waver. The accent has to be there, present throughout the entire film. If it starts to waver from one film to the next, and that's the thing is, if you ask me to do an accent for a movie, I can do an accent. I can do some kind of like this kind of thing. I can do it for a little bit, but then at some point it's going to turn into something else, and it's already morphing. It's already morphing into something else. And then when you put the film together, because this is what he did before, and now it sounds different than what it does now. And because of that, I don't even know what was going on, but that's what I'm trying to say, is that to be consistent with that accent is very tough. So I would just tell my actors, don't do it. Oh, but he's Italian. Don't care. Just don't do it. Because if you fuck it up, it's going to mess the film up. So I'd recommend you just not do it and take the arrows from the people who say he didn't do the accent, but at least the performance is strong. Because the problem is because of that wandering accent that, eases in and eases out, then you are opening yourself up to even more criticism than you would if you just didn't do it altogether. Go back and look at Joaquin Phoenix from Napoleon, right? Fine. I don't care. Just don't do it, because if you're not comfortable, I'd rather you be doing something that's comfortable and your acting is grounded and you are in character and everything's working than having to worry about, is that accent right? It's one more thing to throw on, right? No matter what you're doing, if all of a sudden you told me I have to do this whole stream with an Australian accent, then I sound like Sean Connery. I can't, you see, but I'm not an actor, but I'm just saying I couldn't do it. And that's there. That was the only film of all these that are strong. Really good. So that's pretty bad. As his agent, someone's failing. And also, he's got to know. I'll get to leave Jerk's comment up there for me if you would, Gonger. I'll get to it in a second. You have to know as an actor that when you look at the material, when you read the screenplay, this isn't it. I don't care if it says Francis Ford Coppola. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Doesn't, right? I'd rather you just don't even have the name on there, right? Because remember, when we judge things, because I'm the ultimate objective film reviewer ever in the history of planet Earth, here's the thing. I don't want to even know, black out who directed this. That way, when I go to watch it, I'm just like, this is terrible. And this is Coppola? Holy shit. I feel like, have you ever seen those videos where they play someone a song they've never heard and the guys go, oh my God. I think there's one In the Air Tonight where all of a sudden that drum solo comes in. The kid who's listening is like, oh my God. That's what I'm saying. He didn't know. Well, I mean, I guess, unless it's a conceit. But the thing is he didn't know until that moment. And for me, if you were to show me Megalopolis and never told me who the director was, I would have said the same things I said about a Coppola. That's what makes me better than everybody else. I don't care. It doesn't matter what your other film was. I don't care what your last film was. If it was go back to Tar. Masterpiece. Certainly the best film of the 2020s, along with The Substance. Two brilliant films. If I go to see Todd Field and he has another film, it's probably going to be another 15 years. He takes forever. But if he gives me another Tar in 15 years, I'm okay with that, right? One good film every 15 years is better than a very average or worse Ridley Scott film every year. So if I watch the next Todd Field film, I'm not going to give it a single point up or down based on my reaction to Tar, right? It's, again, the meters reset to zero, the scales are leveled, and we start again. Right? That's the only way to do this, but a lot of critics don't do that. They instantly go ahead and unbalance the scale based on this is Coppola, this is go back to Field, whoever you want to take the director. You say this is Nolan, and you just instantly push that up. Bong, whoever you want to use currently working, that's one of our best. Tarantino, if he ever makes another film, and we don't do that. We always start at zero, right? The scale's always zero. Kind of funny. The worst movie of the year is Megalopolis. Best movie of the year, Substance. Both are out at the same time. And neither's making any money. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The Substance, even though it was down only 44% this weekend, it's only about $1,000 per screen. That's terrible, right? So don't listen to the film Twitter spinners. Realize that unfortunately these smaller films just are not recovering at the box office. You're seeing it happen. Not just Megalopolis. We knew that would flop. Megaflopolis, we knew it was coming. 4 million, terrible per screen average. IMAX, probably the worst IMAX ever. IMAX has to put those numbers out. It's got to be one of the worst IMAX weekends in the history of that format. But when you look at the returns on these small films, it's just not there. People are waiting for the streaming. Substance will be on Mubi here probably in 2 weeks. If you have not seen The Substance, every element of The Substance is why we watch movies. Anyone who is talking about Megalopolis and not The Substance is doing it wrong. And yes, believe me, here's the thing. I've already done The Substance. I've raved about it. Go back and watch the stream. I've only talked about it being the best film of the year multiple times. I am now here tonight making certain that we establish the historical record of fact that Megalopolis is trash. There's not any room for negotiation. None. And if you think there's room for negotiation, let me help you with an answer to that. You're fucking wrong. You're sort of wrong. You are so incorrect that you should not open your mouth about Megalopolis because you're going to look like a fool. You know the word. You're going to look really bad. And here's the thing. The fact that you think that Megalopolis is good or great or cinema at any level is an announcement to the universe that you have zero talent evaluating movies. Zero. Not 1%. Not you are at zero. And we will never, for the remainder of history, listen to anything you say again. That's what it is. If you don't like that, exit door, hit the button, leave. That's the truth. And that's how it's going to be written tonight. There's no way to spin it. There's no spinning it. There's no, this is subjective. None of that. If you're on the wrong side of history here, you're fucked. So, but jerk, you know, again, I'm not reading a teleprompter. I'm looking here to see the comments. Gone Girl's helping me. I'm looking. I'm not reading a teleprompter. Can you tell? If I did, it's all just stream of thought, stream of consciousness. Here it is. Let's go. Everything here is. So if you've never watched, there's no notes. I don't ever ask Gone Girl. He doesn't know where the fuck I'm going at any moment because I don't even know where I'm going half the time. Let's get ready and do something different because I've just buried it. That's the end of that's the end of Megalopolis. It's dead. Goodbye. Rest in peace. It's time to talk about David Corenswet, who is Superman. If you guys have never watched the Physique Critique, this is the part of the show where I look at an actor's physique and then we say, yeah, well, maybe this could have been better. Now, as I'm certain there's someone out there screaming, who is this guy and how dare he say these things? I'm only going to do it quick. It's going to be very quick. You guys know I'm only doing this so that you understand this allows me and gives me the ability to do what I'm about to do. Because when you walk the walk, you can talk the talk. So quickly on this, I've got plenty more where this came from. This is just for everybody who's like, who's this guy and why is he telling me about David Corenswet? So that's it. It's gone. Guys, got it? There's your picture. So now as we go to get David Corenswet, now you can't be like, well, who's this guy and what's he talking about? Listen, first of all, to be honest with you, I'm just going to be straight up because I'm allowed to because you can see the result. I'm more ripped than David Corenswet. It's not even a debate. There's no debate. And I know that pisses off a lot of people. Fucking Weber, this guy. But he's right. But he's right. I don't know what to do. He's right. And it drives me crazy. My head's exploding like that meme of the raging liberal. But it's true. That's the other reason. The reason I do that is to remind the people who the haters go, well, I can't this fucking guy. I just can't. But now it allows me to go in here and attack David Corenswet, right? You guys understand that? You understand that? Good. As long as we're on the same page. Corenswet, here, listen to this. Superman star David Corenswet bulked up to 230 pounds to play Man of Steel. I didn't fit into any of my pants. First of all, Corenswet was really thin. You go back and you look at him in Pearl. You go look at him in Twisters. He's not a big guy. Okay. And let me tell you something from working out for 20 plus years. You do not put on massive bulk in a matter of months unless you are getting some kind of assistance. Okay. So all I'm going to say is as I look at this picture of him at 230 pounds, let's see if I can find it. Do they have, I thought they pinned it to the article. Man, did they not pin it on here? It's on his Instagram. Where is it? Damn it. I can't even see the picture of him. Here it is. I got it. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I don't want to log in. That's still not it. I don't even have it. This is terrible. I'm totally unprepared. Give me a second. I got to find it. Where is Corenswet? Hold on. Corenswet, Superman. Let's see if I can find the picture of him in the gym looking kind of big and like just like a giant pillow. Weber, you're such a jerk. Well, I mean, he's just okay. Here we go. This is him. Give me a second. There he is there. He's big, but you see how he's just kind of like it's roids. There's not even a question about that, guys. I'm sorry I have to be like this, but there's only one way you go from Corenswet, Pearl, and Twisters to looking like that. And guess what that is? That's a needle in the ass. And no, I've never in my life. If anyone wants to pay for a steroid test, I'll take it. I'll take it. You pay for it. I'm not going to pay for it. First of all, I'm not that big. I've been working out long enough to have definition. No, Jerk, it definitely wasn't broccoli and chicken breast. That's the line they feed you, right? They feed you this bullshit Hollywood likes to tell you. Listen, to look like Corenswet, and he looks just big, like he's just kind of big with not a lot of cuts, right? He just looks like a fullback. To go from where he was before to that's getting assistance. It is. Just want to make sure that's clear on tonight's physique critique, because here's the deal. You guys know I've started MMT Fit. It's on Twitter. I haven't really done the YouTube yet. We're going to start doing some stuff. The reality is this. It takes time. It takes work. It doesn't take in months, and you can't look like Corenswet, like big and fullbacky in weeks. It just doesn't happen. So just so you guys are on the same page, that anytime they say he gained all this weight, and it's not the case. All right, open comment, and then we're going to get out of here because it's almost up on an hour. I'm going to save a little bit of energy for tomorrow night, because tomorrow night is Joker. Folie à Deux tomorrow night live here on MMT as we discuss whether that film lives up to the original. I'm a big fan of the first Joker. Todd Phillips, I believe, has a lot of talent as a director, and he showed it to me in Joker. Yes, King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. Don't even do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I love the risks. I love the film. I love the feel. I think I'm going to like the film. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Comic nerds are hating Joker 2 already. The words are, it's not what they expected, an unnecessary sequel. Well, first of all, I would agree. There doesn't really need to be a sequel. But if I don't mind if it's different, I don't want to see the same movie again. Why would you want the same thing? Right? I want a different version. Show me something totally weird, because we already went there. Why do I have to go there again? Why do people want to see the same shit over and over? Right? So for me, I say to myself, I want to see something different tomorrow night. I think I'm going to get that. So I'll probably like it. We'll talk about it tonight, about 10 o'clock here in LA, because it starts at like 7. Right? It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Previews 20. Let's just plan on like 10 o'clock, 10:10 tomorrow, which is 1 o'clock in the morning in New York, where Grace Randolph will be fast asleep. And then also, whatever. Erick's review of Joker is the most anticipated event. Thank you. What, Steve? I don't want to listen. I'm just telling you that I think at this point, here's what we've done. I think at this point, what we've done is we've built tons of credibility, and no one can argue that. Even the people that hate, go, yeah, he's good. He's good. I don't know what to do. Because listen, the reality is this: is that when you do this for as long as we have, the channel's been around for almost 3 years now, right? 2.5 years. The reality is this: is that when you back your words up and you constantly do that with strong evaluations, and you're on the right side of history, virtually every film except for Ant-Man 3 for some of you, then you go, well, this guy I can trust. And I think if there's anybody in the space that is more trust than yours truly, there's very few. It's certainly not Alan after recommending my Megalopolis. And we already talked about Gore. I don't want to get into it, but Gore's terrible as a critic. Truly unreliable. Really has turned into maybe not Grace Randolph bad, but he's tangential. May have no previews. I hope not, Britain. I'll see you tomorrow night, right? Britain's one of my movie buddies over at AMC. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night. If there's no previews, then fine, we'll get in there at 7. But I just think it's, the worst is when you think there's no previews and you sit down and like there's 25 minutes of previews. You're like, fuck, why? I could have had, another sip of my Coors Light. Well, Weber's a drunk. One fucking beer. That's what I'll have tomorrow night. 1. And Britain can attest to this. 1. Britain, have you ever seen me drink more than 1 beer? 1. That's it. So I'm not sitting there drinking 17 Trulies. I'm not going to say who that is, but I don't do that. Wild Robot, best animated film of the year. Listen, Mega YouTube, that's fine, but it's a terrible year for animation. This is not a great film. Good Robot is a propaganda-filled film. It is an artificial emotion film. If you fell for it, that's fine, Mega YouTube. I'm just telling you, and again, this is a gray area. I'm not saying you're totally wrong like Megalopolis, but Wild Robot, wildly overrated. Wildly. When I sat down to watch that film, I just remember going, wait a second. And I remember the audience reaction in the IMAX when I saw it on Thursday. I don't think I mentioned this. Dead. I mean, I'm talking when the jokes happened, you could hear like no one was really into that film, because it's one of those films, back to the evaluation of that film. It's one of those films that is filled with faux emotion, and it's manipulating you throughout. And when it's manipulating you, then you just go, no. If you know what manipulation feels like through cinema, which there's tons of films that do it, the difference between truth in cinema and fake ass in cinema. And Wild Robot is much closer to artificial AI. That film is definitely not full of true emotion. Wall-E, Iron Giant, they're not even comparable. Anyone who puts Wild Robot in that category, again, just disregard them. They're not worth it. No. Listen, I'm not going to only go to movies I want to like, because I don't want to go into any movie and have the mentality I'm going to like. I have to like it. I mean, listen, I just told you I want to like Joker 2. How many times have I come on here and said, I think this is going to go bad, and I go, holy shit. It's happened many times. How many times have I said, I think it's going to be good, and I come out and go, this is terrible? It happened quite often. So even though I can tell you sort of where I am going in, because I'm looking forward to Joker 2 tomorrow night, it's not like a film that I feel like, my God, I'm going to get my wisdom teeth extracted. Here's the thing, is that I can still have that all wiped out when I watch the film, because once the first frame, here's the perfect film. I've got it for you to tell you a perfect example of someone who was through the roof excited, right? Like just anticipating this film, and then walked out and said, holy shit, Maxxxine. So if you don't think I can go into Joker 2 tomorrow with me ready to like it and then hammer it on the backside, watch my Maxxxine stream. One of the worst third acts ever. Ty West virtually destroyed his certainly legacy with that trilogy. That Maxxxine is a terrible film. It is, especially the back end. The first half is okay. It needs a lot of work. That's a film, and I go back, and I just want to mention this quickly, because I know, I hope Ty actually sees this or someone shows it, because I know, I'm not going to say who, but someone that's connected to Ty at some level has discussed things with me before. I'm going to tell you this. The fact that nobody told Ty West this is not a good film, that this is not what you want to leave this trilogy with, is really alarming, because that means he doesn't have any true friends. Because, no, truthfully, I got to say that, because if you have a true friend, if you're a true friend of Ty West and you watch Maxxxine and you show me that film and you don't say, dude, you got to redo this entire thing. You got to go back in and restructure everything and recut. And it's got to be essentially almost have to start from zero. You can go back and use Mia. You can use the LA. You can use the Night Stalker, but I want to connect that. I want to physically plug the Night Stalker in the movie versus on the television screen. I want to plug the Night Stalker in. I want to get rid of Dad. This film is better. But the fact that nobody went to the master Ty West, and by the way, who loves X and Pearl? Me. But you still, again, speaks to what I just talked about earlier tonight. I can love these two films and then go see Maxxxine and say it's fucking terrible. The back end, that final act is so Tarantino awful, right? It's like he's trying to do Tarantino, but it fails so spectacularly that you go, holy shit, this is bad. Like, Ty, you weren't ready for this. So listen, if Ty watches the stream, I like you. I think you're very talented. But at the same time, you got to know that film's bad. You have to know that. You guys know I'm writing the script, right? As we get ready to wrap this thing here tonight, I'm writing the script along with my writing partner. We're this close to finishing. Not even kidding you. Like, it could be done this week. Probably will. I know the film's good. I'm 100% certain it's good. So I know it, because I wouldn't. First of all, I'm not that guy. I never have been. I'm the hardest guy on myself you ever know, except for the streams. It's just a bunch of bullshit. I'm out here just ranting and raving. Doesn't matter. But like Jim, super hard on myself. Whatever it is, because you have to be. Because if so many people in this world don't get told they're not great at something, I would rather be harder on myself. And people say, "Hey, you're actually good at that." I'm like, no, I'm not. And then you always are trying to improve. Right? So it's almost like a mentality. Like, go back to Kobe Bryant. You talk about when he walked on the court, he was always like, I am going to destroy my opponents. These people hate me. I do that a lot on Twitter. I go on and I go, let me explain something, because I'm not afraid. So I walk in and I go, what do you got? And people just go, what? But I think the key is if you use that as fuel for you to get better, doesn't matter. I'm not hurting anybody. So what? So I dragged a screenwriter or two tonight. It is what it is. People drag me all the fucking time on Twitter. You kidding me? 24 hours a day. Like I give a shit. All that is ammunition for me. All that is fuel for me to go in and dominate and to kill it. And the thing is that's what you do. You use the stuff in your life to make yourself stronger. Most people use it to bring themselves down. Bring yourself up, uplift, build off of the negativity. I love it. That's my fuel, man. Like Kobe was talking, that's my fucking fuel. I didn't see Azrael. I don't know if I'm going to see it either, Coach. It's just a film I didn't get to. I don't know about the reviews on it. I just saw it on the A list, and I'm just at the point now, Coach, where I don't want to sit through a film unless I really want to watch it, because I've been burnt so much this year by terrible films. Go back to Tuesday, The Front Room. There's so many more. Okay. Bad films. Planet of the Apes, not a good film. But Tuesday's a whole nother level. Okay. Megalopolis, on and on and on. So because I've been burnt by so many films and very rarely walked into something saying, holy shit, this is really good. The best example of a film I had no expectations for and was blown away, it's one of our top films of the year, is Handling the Undead, the zombie tangential film from Neon. What a film. It's so dark and so full of humanity. That's a great film along with Substance. And it's both horror films, but, they're not true horror films, right? They have so much humanity and psychology in them that make them two of the best films of the year. But I had no expectations for that, and that's what I want to watch. Azrael, I just feel like I'm going to get a 7. I don't want to watch any more 7s. I want to watch 8.5s and higher, or unless it's something huge that I have to watch. Go back to Deadpool Wolverine. Love that film. Had fun. God, what a blast that film is. And I called it. Did I not call that reaction? I told you 1 billion. It's now at 1.4, I believe, close to it. And yet told you about the opening title sequence, NSYNC. I told you what would happen. Go back and watch the stream from that night. I was going at it with Menzel. What did I tell you that night? Audiences are going to love the film. I was right. Weber's right, man. That's what we're gifted with. Listen, Grace Randolph and have all the subscribers she wants, all the views she wants. We're better. We have a better track record, and we'll forever be all about cinema here. Joker definitely had more hype the week up. Yeah, no question. As we get ready to go into tomorrow night, that's the last thing I think we'll do here tonight, talking about Joker tomorrow. There's not a question that there's no hype for Joker 2 right now. Warner Brothers has to be pressing. You can feel it. They know it. For whatever reason, Joker 2 has not captured the zeitgeist. You can feel it. Now, here's how that gets corrected. When I see that film and others tomorrow night, you'll see it. Go see it so we can have that conversation, because I want to talk specifics tomorrow. If you're expecting like a totally spoiler-free stream tomorrow, I can't promise you that, because last time I do that, when I did that for Poor Things, everyone came after me months later going, you didn't say anything. I'm not doing that anymore. If I happen to talk about specifics, it is what it is. Some of you have seen it. It's not an early press screening. This is a screening for everybody to see tomorrow night. IMAX. You can go see Joker Folie à Deux tomorrow. Come back on the stream tomorrow night, and then we can have the discussion about this film. But if I start to get excited about this film, if I notice other people in the audience are excited about it, if I can feel that the zeitgeist is starting to filter more into the space of Joker Folie à Deux, then we can discuss this film popping higher. But right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Joker 2 opens at 60 million. I really wouldn't, because, and that's a far cry from the 90, or is it 100? Did it get to 100? It was close. It was up in that range, right? I haven't looked at the numbers since 2019, but it got to 1 billion, as we know, worldwide. But when you look at this film, it just isn't there. It's not there. So tomorrow night, I'm either going to understand why, or I'm going to say we need to push this thing higher. It's that simple. And you guys know there's one thing we're going to bring tomorrow: authenticity and accuracy. That's promised tomorrow night. Joker 2, Folie à Deux. War. Weber's always right. Thank you, Jerk. 100%. I mean, listen, we have a hell of a batting average. A hell of a batting average. Thanks for being here live from the City of Angels. We're back tomorrow night for Joker Folie à Deux. Until then, thanks for being here for the rants, the raves, everything in between, including watching Grace Randolph read her teleprompter. Everybody, the show is over. I want to thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to talking about Joker Folie à Deux tomorrow night here on MMT. Until then, I will see you. MMT out.